I don't want this interview to give relevance to the people and or publications that who've hurt you unless they must be named and if they are chosen to be named by you. I want this to be about you and those experiences and how they've grown you. I think that's always the most important thing. For me, from walking into the Cascade Suite with bodyguards and you're living, next thing you're terrified about someone who will not stop contacting you like crazy. Then when I read the book, that's never really been resolved, because that was my question. How did you resolve that?
I have been stalked.
For about 15 years now.
For 15 years and counting. I've actually come to make peace with the fact of this particular stalker and that he has a mental illness. Apparently had a car crash when the last time he checked we were married, and I've left home, so he needs to come and get me. But I don't live my life in fear. I fear no man. Companies like Cycle Lab took a big chance of using my name and not, first of all, even getting my consent to use my brand equity and exploiting that. And I took them to court. It took me 5 years to get my day in court. And I won that case. And it's an unprecedented legal case in the history of South Africa.
It's in Harvard.
It's a Harvard Law Review. It's in every law student in South Africa when they do Law 101. They have to pass that case study. And I took it for the collective. And I'm dealing with a cyberbully, and I'm taking it for the collective. People trade on their good names. The integrity of your name is all that you have. And so if people are going to take advantage and think people don't have the stamina to take it on to the finish line, I'll throw the book of the law at you. You've
spoken about the Twitter bully now, who made incredibly just diabolical, as you always put it, accusations about your marriage.
My family.
In your family. And I know that the biggest reason why you even fight a lot of these issues is because of the kids. It's because of your legacy and because your name, reputation is your trade in what we do. So, you speak of how strong how strong Bab Khumalo was. I want to know what hurt him the most.
Seeing me being hurt like that and being broken like that, and it was such a violation. And my husband looks after my heart. And so here are people who don't even know us or our relationship. Yes, they know of us, but they don't know us. And have the temerity, the audacity to hurt his wife. That's what hurt him. Nothing really moves my husband. He knows his compass, a grounded being, an amazing father, a great lover to me, and just an all-round decent human being. And so, and I heard this through a friend of mine. When her husband spoke to my husband, says, all I'm worried about is my wife. And that is something that he won't allow.
There was a video that finally surfaced, and it had no one that was being mentioned in those tweets. And now here we are. You've done all this damage. These, the kids might read this one day. And I just think people don't think, and it's so upsetting when you are the person in the situation.
You know, when people have no care, not only for people's reputation, but negating the fact that people have children. Children are living in this modern technology where you press Google. The story, a lie, will pop up on Google. An untruth. People are irresponsible with people's names and people's lives. And when people have no care, that you could be able to just say to yourself, okay, keyboard warrior, I'll throw some ugly untruths. Sometimes when I think about it, as I'm thinking about it now, I'm still taken aback about how you sit in your own corner, wherever you live, and you wake up and say, okay, today I'm gonna go for the Khumalos. And then, even think further that I'm gonna get away with it. And then don't even think of their children will have to live with this lie over their heads, have to go to school the next day and face peers about what is in the wires, what's making headlines about their parents, where you have to tell your children, hold your head up high. You know this is not the truth. And you don't even have to tell your children that, because, you know, my son was just amazing. When we were to sit him down the next day before he went to school, around the breakfast, you know, the breakfast nook where we sit, to say, and Papa says to him, listen, boy, this is the story that's untrue. There's the rumor that's making rounds about me and mommy, and it's untrue. And we just want you to know and hear it from us. And of course, Nati, all he said is that, well, I know who's raising me. Is that all? Sure. And that's when I knew that, you know what, we have not done such a bad job as parents, as working parents, as busy parents. When your kid can look at you to say, but I know who's raising me.
Powerful.
I know who's raising me. Is that all? Is this meeting done? Yes, boy. You can go to school, have a nice day. And I pray over my kids. I blessed him and he went off to school.
Well done. Very, very, very well done. Wow. Do you think it's up to Twitter or up to the personalities or up to the communities on Twitter themselves to end this verbal violence that's happening there?
It's going to take all of us, the Twitter community. It's going to take all of us as a society, as a conscious society, in who we want to become as beings. It's going to take all of us to be able to take responsibility for what goes out there. Because if we don't call each other out and perpetuate and retweet the retweets that get retweeted umpteenth times, which is what we had to do when we were putting together our docket and affidavit. The amount of retweets, I mean, you see this docket and the damage of being able to then spread this fire into the veld and then into buildings and then into a country. You fuel a fire from one small thing, and with utter, you almost like, there's some subconscious people who just wake up and they don't even apply their minds. And you fuel a fire from lack of consciousness and understanding of the impact it could have on lives. Young people who are being bullied, we know the rate of suicide just from cyberbullies. And that's why I have to take this battle on, because an 18-year-old who's been body shamed, a 25-year-old who was having an intimate time with their partner now is put out there. The suicide rate, the stats have been released. I just can't remember the exact numbers. And so there's gotta be just a sense of responsibility from all of us to be able to want to be a better people, a more conscious people, a caring nation, a kind world where humanity and the essence of people's just journey is being respected.